Jungle Cruise starring Emily Blunt and Dwayne Johnson was alright. So, synopsis of this movie, Dr. Lily enlists the aid of a wisecracking skipper named Frank to take her down the Amazon in his ramshackle boat. Together they search for an ancient tree that holds the power to heal, a discovery that will change the future of medicine. So, first off, would I recommend seeing this movie? I mean, sure. I would recommend seeing it with other people, probably people that are vaccinated, because it's $30 on Disney Plus, and I don't know, I feel like I wouldn't pay $30 just to watch this movie on my own. Although, I guess I am paying for the privilege of being in my home where I can pause the movie, go to the bathroom, pet my cats, not pay a buttload for, you know, food and beverage. So I guess $30 makes sense in that case. But I think for most people, get some friends together, safely. But it's a mindless fantasy comedy. You're gonna spend, 2.5 hours just having a moderately good time. The Rock is as charming as he always is, but his dad jokes are so intense. If anyone had a dad who loved dad jokes, this might give you some PTSD. Emily Blunt is a competent actor, and she did well in this movie. I don't think her character was cliche at all or too far in either direction. She wasn't irritatingly good or irritatingly obnoxiously damsel in distress. There definitely were times where I was getting Pirates of the Caribbean vibes, but this is Disney, and they tend to stick with formulas, even if they're the same thing over and over again, that they know will get people in the seat, will get higher ratings, will get them more money. But the villains, yeah, they felt very, very Pirates of the Caribbean. Now, there are two different groups of villains, I guess three if you really want to look at it, but one's not really too much in the movie. Jesse Plemons. Usually, I absolutely love this guy. I think he's a great actor. I've never seen him in anything where I felt like he was miscast until this movie. He was just over the top, obnoxious, like embarrassingly so. And I'm not one that normally like gets cringe over things, because I think every human needs to, like, you do you. I don't give a shit. You like sparkly ponies wearing thongs out in public. I just don't care. I don't have enough energy to care about your life while focusing on the things that are important to me. But for casting someone in this role, no. It's weird though, because the other villains I thought were great, and the fact that they didn't speak English I think made them a lot more menacing, because they didn't have time to overuse dialogue to make you go, ooh, this is getting weird. They had villains that said a little bit, and then they just went about trying to fuck up people's day. As for the CGI and visuals, I think overall the visuals were great. I think that they did a very good job with the set. Unfortunately, the CGI for certain things did get a little bit wonky. Like, Jesus Christ, Disney, we know you can afford better. So, I mean, it's just one or two places where you're kind of like, ooh, this is like 90s CGI. So before getting into spoilers for this movie, I give it a 5.5 or 6 out of 10. It was a decent fantasy comedy. It will entertain you for 2.5 hours. Honestly, if I were to watch this movie over again, I'd probably clean my house while watching it, or maybe sew or something, just to multitask, because this isn't really a movie you have to be watching to understand, like, super close. Now I'm getting into spoilers, so if you haven't seen this movie and you don't want spoilers, please don't continue watching. Like, subscribe, have a great day, pet a puppy. Don't break into someone's house to pet a puppy, or like just assault someone's puppy, but if you can, pet one. First, 𝒿ℴ𝒽 was actually a real person we had in our own world, not cursed, I don't believe, like he was in the movie. That guy was super intense, like, holy shit, super intense in real life. So I feel like they dialed it back quite a bit for the movie. And I know if you watch the movie, you're like, wait, that was dialing it back? Yeah. Now, in history, he did go down the Amazon. He was trying to find El Dorado. He didn't end up dying. He ended up dying later. when he tried to take over an area in South America, the Spanish crown was like, no, 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 no. They surrounded him, and he ended up murdering his daughter so that they couldn't get a hold of her. And then he was himself killed, beheaded, and chopped into little parts. So he had an even happier ending in real life. Now the difference, I mean there's a lot of difference in the movie, is that yes, his daughter is his entire world, just like we're led to believe in real life, but in the movie she gets seriously ill and he can't stand the thought of losing her, so he needs to find a cure to keep her alive. That cure is down the Amazon River and is the Tears of the Moon, which can cure illness, injury, curses, I guess. It's an all-in-one cure. So ʻGary goes down the Amazon. He ends up going with Frank, who is his bestie. Frank wants to go because he loves his friend and sees how much his daughter means to him and wants to ensure she lives. And ʻGary also takes other soldiers. They go down the Amazon. Unfortunately, when they get in the jungle, they start getting picked off and die. And then eventually a tribe finds them, what's left of them, and heals them with the Tears of the Moon. ʻGary, understandably, is like, hey, tell me where the tree is, or give me some because I want to go help my daughter. And the tribe is like, go fuck yourself. So he kind of goes off the deep end and starts murdering them. Now, I'm not saying the murder of a tribe is a good thing. I am saying maybe the chief was a little bit selfish and not giving him at least one petal to save his daughter. Kind of selfish, bro. Just want to throw that out there. So ʻGary ends up killing the chief, well, stabbing him, and he starts to die, and then he has his men start to go crazy on the village, and Frank, seeing all of this, is like, oh, hell no, and turns on his bestie. Yeah. Frank puts hoes before bros. You piece of shit. Anyways, the chief, as he's dying, ends up doing a curse, and he makes it so all the Spanish people attacking the village, they can never leave sight of the river, they can never die, and if they leave sight of the river, the jungle will pull them back. Interestingly, Frank is included in this curse. I guess when you're dying, you don't really think, there was this one guy helping, so I should probably not curse him. I think when you're dying and you're casting a curse, addendums usually aren't at the top of your mind. After they're cursed, I'm totally on ʻGary's side, where he found Frank to kill him over and over again. I would be pissed if I was that close to finding a cure for my daughter, and it ended up, nope, she succumbed to her disease. I never got to go back and see her. I never got to say another goodbye, and you just messed up everything because you broke the bro code. Fuck them up, ʻGary. I'm on your side. Super messed up that Frank was willing to put them in purgatory of hell, of being frozen or cemented or whatever, and just being stuck there for eternity. But I guess he went with them the second time, or was intending to before Lily stuck her nose in it. So yeah, for the villains, I would say they're really good. I liked their story. I liked what their motivation was, and I liked him. The other villain, I know there's another minor one, but I really don't care about him and I'm not going to talk about him. Jesse, like I said in the non-spoilers part, it was so bad. He played like every cliche. It's so weird because he's such a talented actor that him as the prince was just awful. I don't know if he needed to dial it back or crank it up a few notches, because I've never been taken out by an actor's performance from watching a movie as much as it was with him. I enjoyed Emily Blunt's character. I feel like Lily was a good mixture of competent but also not knowing how to do certain things. It wasn't complete damsel in distress, but it also wasn't go girl power, I can do everything because I'm a lady. Sometimes she messed up and Frank had to save her. Sometimes she did the right thing, and she helped Frank. I felt like it was very balanced and not skewed to have some sort of girl power message, which I love girl power. I, too, have a vagina and ovaries and such, and identify as a woman. So, you know, power, rah, but a lot of times they fuck up the story by doing it. Oh, by the way, you don't have to have a uterus and ovaries to be a woman, by the way. I wasn't coming at anyone. I know cancer survivors were this close to tweeting at me. Frank being immortal was a complete shock to me. When he was stabbed through the heart and then he hit every branch on the way down, I thought, damn, Disney, you got some balls on you killing one of the main characters in a movie. And then, no, he was 400 years old and he was an immortal and he was fine. Very disappointing. I want to see more murder in my children movies, Disney. His dad jokes, like I said in the beginning, oh my god. I've had step parents and a mom that never did like the parent jokes, but my biological dad, when he was alive, his dad jokes, I mean, just fucking. So every time I was just like, no, stop, Frank, please, God, stop, no. Yeah, he was a fun character though, and he was the baseline of what I expect from Dwayne Johnson, a charming performance where he performs his role to more than adequate expectations, and he just brings a lot of fun into the movie. I don't feel like I've ever seen a performance by him where I wasn't like, okay, this dude's charming enough where even if the movie's dog shit, I like watching you. And not just because he's super muscly and cute. I'm not really sure how you can be 400 years old and still have that much trouble with money. Frank, you had so much time to make so many things. I don't know what was going on with you. I also don't know when that town came up, how they didn't notice you being immortal. I feel like maybe that town's full of dum-dums. Also with the money thing, I'm not saying if I was an immortal stuck in view of the Amazon River, I would do better with money, but if I was an immortal stuck in the view of the Amazon River, I would do much better with money. And I'm a fucking idiot, Frank. And one last thing on Frank really quick. His cat buddy, so cute, Proxima. The CGI was kind of bad, kind of really bad at times, but he was adorable, so I'm going to allow it. Or she. I don't remember if it was a he or a she. McGregor was interesting. I could tell right away that Disney was making him a gay character, and it was weird because they did every single stereotype, over-the-top stereotype, for a gay man, but also made it so if they needed to, I don't know, put this movie in certain markets that don't like gay people, China, they could easily edit out a line, and then it would just be like, oh, no. Just a flamboyant guy. Disney just wants to be inclusive, where it can make them money. So I really liked McGregor. I just felt like Disney, you need to commit more to your gay characters and maybe just not make them so over the top. I don't know if you know this, but it's okay. Hey, total turn here. You know how Lily got an extra petal at the end? So does that mean she's going to find a cure for all illnesses, injuries, diseases, and I guess curses? I don't know how many people get cursed in their world. Because I want a sequel to Jungle Cruise where humans live a really long time because they can instantly heal injuries and diseases, and corporations have taken that formula and the ingredients and made it hard for humans to get, and then you have those lower level humans that they have a much shorter life expectancy, and then the super rich, and it's just a fucked up evil world. I just feel like nowadays we don't have enough movies that let us humans know that we're just total garbage. Overall, yeah, I like this movie. It was fine. It's not something I would rave about, but it's also not something I would just completely trash to someone. I would just be like, yeah, it's all right. Want to sit down, eat some Chinese food, forget that you're going to die one day. It's a decent movie. But those are my thoughts on Jungle Cruise. I would like to hear your thoughts on it. And if you liked it, if you didn't, which parts you liked, which parts you didn't. Thanks for letting me ramble. And I'm sorry.